You're listening to Mathemwcast with your speakers, Emy Guinabo,
Andrei Batocael.
And my name is Pacaonsis.
and for today's episode, we're going to learn the broken symmetry by Ian Stewart, book called Nature's Numbers. So guys, who among you remember that a very specific instant their teacher made us cut different shapes as little kids? Achieving a perfect and equal half was, if I must say, one of the most nostalgic experiences a child can have in his life. If I can remember it correctly, that was the very first moment symmetry was introduced to us. We learned that a shape is symmetrical when its half is equal to its half. But is symmetry just all about that?
No, because the British mathematician and writer Ian Stewart provided us with a different perspective on symmetry in his book, which is Nature's Numbers, particularly in chapter 6, which is broken symmetry.
But before we go to our main topic, so let's talk first about symmetry. So for you guys, how would you describe symmetry according to Stewart?
Commonly, symmetry is described as a phenomenon when any object has identical or balanced proportion in its halves, which Stewart himself described as bilateral symmetry on page 74. He also defined symmetry as the phenomenon wherein an object or shape becomes exactly like another even when you move it in some way, whether you turn it, flip it, or slide it on page 75. Herman Weyl and Richard Feynman share the same idea as they see symmetry in things that have been subject to a certain operation and appear exactly the same after the operation. Such operations, in the eyes of Stewart, are what we call transformations on page 74.
With that said, Stewart presented us the three common transformations. The first one is the reflection, the second one is the rotation, and the third one is the translation, which further explains the concept of symmetry. Reflections or flips are also known as bilateral symmetry in page 74. It simply is a mirror effect, or when one object is reflected across a plane to create another instance of itself, like the shape of a heart, a butterfly, or even a human body. Meanwhile, turns or irrational symmetries occur when you get the exact same image of an object when you spin it at 180 degrees. This occurs to shapes like squares or circles or in natural things like starfishes or flowers. Lastly, translations are symmetries wherein an object slides or is relocated to another position while maintaining its general or exact orientation. Stewart called this kind of symmetry the rule for moving things around, which creates repeated units on the plane like floor tiles or wall bricks.
The world, almost in any aspect, is formed and built through symmetry. With that basic foundation, nature has been filled with symmetry in every way, as present in various patterns occurring all around us, just like how the author Ian Stewart. So symmetry in the human body, the petals of the flower, and also the honeycomb of bees, and even in the structure of the subatomic particles of the universe. He concluded that we see a pattern in things that passes symmetry, but not too much symmetry, and that is broken symmetry.
Do you know that Stewart begins by showing how symmetry is present in what he called bland uniformities? Simply speaking, he tells us that nature's symmetries are so perfect and extensive that every point it contains is highly equivalent to each other. They look extremely the same, interchangeable, and replaceable, that we fail to notice the presence of patterns in it. With that, He further explains how new patterns can be created by breaking these perfect symmetries. He used throwing a pebble in a pond as an example to visualize this concept. As the pebble meets the surface of the pond, we lose all the natural patterns of the pond except for the point where the pebble strikes, creating a pattern of concentric circles.
So from our talk, do you have some learnings, or how can we apply broken symmetry in our daily lives?
So, this creates a major impact on us, especially as human beings. For years, we always fight for unifications of a wide array of diversity, whether it may be language, cultures, or race.
But then, as we further develop our understanding about nature through mathematics present everywhere around us, we see a silver lining among our individual differences. At some point, a perfect mathematical symmetry highlights our similarities as persons and binds as one.
Stewart has been very generous enough to allow us to see the world through mathematicians' eyes. No matter how much we deny it, no matter how many people dislike mathematics, the whole world feels a lot different seeing how even the smallest aspect of math keeps the world going around.